everybody, this is Joe from Support and Resistance Trading. I wanted to make a quick video today talking about support and resistance. Somebody asked me to make a video about how do you actually chart support and resistance, and I think there are a lot of videos obviously on YouTube about this, charting support and resistance, but I really want to get into what actually really is the real support and what actually is real resistance. Okay, so I have a chart of Apple up and I'm going to clear it out and get rid of all my drawings so we can start from scratch. Okay, this is a 1 minute chart. Alright, so you always usually actually want to start with the bigger time frames. Alright, and if I'm looking at Apple here, right, and like I'm looking, I want to chart, right, and see where my actual resistance is and if there really is any. So you can see, for example, like if we go up here, you can always chart the high ever, but like we're not even close to that. So putting that on my chart for me is just extra that I don't even need. So, you know, as you're going down, you always want to see wherever the candles hit the most, that's support resistance. And this is what I use for options, okay? It's just like regular day trading. It's no different. I just try not to overcrowd my charts and I kind of clear out the drawings as like the couple days go on. So, you know, as you're looking, you want to see if you can see wherever the candles are hitting more, that is actually probably some obvious support or some obvious resistance depending on which way the chart is flowing. So we can go over here, we can see if there's really anything at this 204 number, okay? So if I look at 204, I guess I could see some resistance at 204. Usually whole numbers are the real resistance. You can see where we got a massive green spike through and we kind of tapped it here, and previously we kind of tapped it. It's not great. The more it taps it, the more it's actually true and real resistance. So once I kind of chart the one, you can kind of chart this one if you really want, but there's not really much here. You know, once you chart the daily, then you want to slowly move down. So let's go to 5 minute. Okay, we'll go to 5 minute. I'm looking at 5 days long, and I'm going to see wherever the stock seems to hit, you know, multiple days in a row, and you can clearly tell. So let's go over here. See, let's line up some peaks and see if we get anything. Nothing really there, right? We can kind of come down. It definitely looks like there's some right here at this 198, like it's probably actually 199 number, all right? And in reality, usually the whole numbers are the, like I said before, are the real resistance. So this looks actually really good under here at like 87-ish. So I'm just gonna plot that. Okay, and obviously as I'm really watching, I'm gonna watch it a lot closer than that. We can come down here. Clearly had these candles that tap this same line over and over. That was probably 198.50-ish. So we'll plot that one. Okay. Come on up, see if we get anything else. All I'm doing, guys, is looking for where the peaks and we meet a bunch of other candles. Like I don't want to have like this high, for example, right here, isn't really touching anything else. It's just touching the high. Okay, so it's not really any sort of real resistance, okay, or support. Coming on up. No. So now we're going to go over here. We clearly have one here at 202.27-ish. Okay, plot that one. Come on up. And 203. Kind of got that one. All right. So now as I do the 5 minute, I'm working my way to the actual day that we're at. So if we're going up, none of these are really going to matter. Now, if we start to fall, I will go back and start to rechart these on this chart. Okay. So let's go to 1 minute. So 1 minute chart. So we kind of have this one here that I drew in. You could probably clear this and redraw it a little better if you wanted to, if you feel, but for me it's close enough for right now. As the stock was doing, then I would, you know, rechart. We got this one that's kind of tapping these highs and almost tapping these highs, and I guess you could redraw another one right here if you really wanted to. Okay, like that. So this is how I chart my support and resistance. Now, as I'm watching the chart on the daily as it's forming, right? As it's forming, it's clearly staying within these two channels. And I would obviously be charting these other ones. So you can clearly tell right here is some macro resistance. Okay, which later becomes support, right? So what I mean is, what is resistance, what is support? Resistance when the stock has issues getting through an area. Comes up, taps, comes back down. Comes up, taps, comes back down. Comes up, taps, comes back down. But as it's doing it, it's making lower highs. Okay, lower lows, okay? And what's nice is you can see that the line is actually real support or real resistance. See how it breaks through, right? Then it comes back down through it. breaks through again, and then kind of comes down and finds that previous level and now taps off of that support and goes up. If you're going long a stock and it's doing this and it finally breaks through that line and then it comes back and retests that previous resistance it had an issue getting through, now becomes support, oh man, that's an amazing sign, because now the stock's going to continue to go up. Okay? That's usually a good sign. And you can see up here, right, we kind of came up to try to tap this resistance, came back down to the 50, went back up, tried to tap it again, couldn't get through it. We collapsed again, back through, up again, couldn't hold it, back through. Okay? So it's really not hard. People overcomplicate support and resistance, but they'll be like, oh, right here, this is resistance. Oh, this little piece right here, this is resistance. Yes, maybe macroly when you're making the chart, but don't fill up your charts with all these lines and you'll kind of get confused which ones are the real resistance, like the major resistance, and which ones are the minor resistance. And usually in the morning, I will write down on a piece of paper, for example, Apple, major resistance, right, at 202 or 204-ish even, right? And I'll probably have another one. Another major resistance at 203.68, or I'll probably even write it as 203 like 65, because it's usually like, an even number. All right, so don't overcomplicate the support and resistance, guys. Just don't overdo it. Like, oh, there's another one here, there's another one here. If you're in a stock and you're trading it by minute candle, sure, plot your little micro support and resistance that you're looking for it to break through to confirm your trade. But on a major time scale, you want to plot the major support and resistance, right? Clearly, this one was a major support and resistance of the day. All right. So the next day, this stock will probably obey this support and resistance. What it may do is it may open up, okay, come back down and kind of tap this and then run up, for example, right? That's usually what it does. It does something along those lines. It may come down and tap the low of this, but it's going to be very close within these lines. It's going to come down, fail, and spike back up to run for the next day. All right, so that's a quick little video on support and resistance for options and how I use it to trade my setups. All right, don't overcomplicate this, guys. It's just basic, just some horizontal lines. Keep the chart simple. Don't overfill and you're like, oh, there's another support and resistance every 5 or 6 cents, and you're talking yourself out of a trade. All right, look at the major ones and keep those always in your chart. All right, guys.